Welcome to Ask Miss Myrz, where we answer your most burning questions and solve your most nagging problems. I won't always know the answer, but I'll know someone who will. It's the first week of the year, and we all know one thing we can no longer ignore. We need to get off the couch and start or restart an exercise routine to atone for 2020. Too much food and too little movement. Or if not to atone, okay, I mean, we need to be kinder to ourselves this year just to actually make us feel healthier and feel and even think better. Yeah, we all know what to do, but the hardest part is not just starting, but sustaining it. Here to nudge us into finally taking the steps needed so we can get moving again for our health and sanity, plus the diet and fitness mindset tweaks we need to make so that working out becomes a lifestyle is Tanya Maria Aguila, founder of One Life Pilates Studio, certified Nike NTC trainer, and fitness, health, and women's empowerment advocate. Hello, Tanya.
Hi, Myrza. Thanks for having me
Hi.
on your show. I'm a big fan,
Oh
and
my
I'm
gosh.
I'm really thrilled to be here and trying to share some things that might help you guys.
Right. Something we really need. I'm a big fan as well.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy
And
New Year.
we are celebrating something for One Life, I think, starting this week. I like
Yeah.
your post where you said last year we were bent and stretched in ways we never imagined, but guess what? We didn't break. Want to tell us about that?
Well, I think without me even saying 2020 was an extraordinary year, not just for me, but for everybody. It was going well, and then the volcano eruption, and then suddenly there's this COVID-19 pandemic, and all our lives went into a totally different direction. No
Right.
one was spared, right? Business owners, media personalities, corporate work, everybody had to stay at home, and more than just the change in environment, it's a total change in the direction of your life and your
Right.
lifestyle.
Right.
Uh, I don't know about you, but I suffered from a lot of anxiety. I kept thinking and thinking and thinking, and
Definitely.
I like to keep a very positive social media profile, but behind social media there's a lot of things that you guys don't see,
Right.
and it's
Right.
not just me, right? So I'm sure everybody had their fair share of challenges, and it
Right.
stretched them, bent them. I'm sure there were a lot of breakdowns happening behind closed doors, but we all made it here. It's
Right.
January, and it's a brand spanking new year, and I think we can all say that for this year we are all more emotionally prepared, and
I
we're ready
hope
to take
so.
control of this year again.
Right. And so 2020 fostered a very sedentary lifestyle. I mean,
Mhm.
everything you could do from your couch, right? Ordering
Yes.
food, working,
Yes.
earning a living. And so, I don't know, people probably gained the COVID 15.
I know.
But on the other hand, on social media, you could see so many people gaining six packs and
Correct.
working out to death. And that
Correct.
made a lot of the other people also very anxious and
Correct.
depressed. What do you want to say
Correct.
about that?
So I think everybody has to be careful with social media because it's very polarizing on any issue, and body positivity is one of those key issues that is super super highlighted on social media. Either you're fit or you're not, right?
Right.
There's no appreciation for the in between where most of us are. For
Right.
example, I'm a regular girl. I'm not your ultra fit, ultra athlete. And I also suffer from those highs and lows, the yo-yoing. And I think 2020, because of the fact that you do have a lot of time on your hands to just scroll and scroll
Right. Doom
and
scrolling.
doom scrolling, right? Um, I can understand why a lot of people feel like that sets them back more than it
Right.
moves them forward. And
Right.
we come into this year with a whole year's worth of baggage in that department.
Right.
And this year is definitely going to be better, but it's going to require a lot of work inner work for all of us.
Right, which is why you're here. I think it's refreshing to know that a fitness professional such as yourself is not exempt from those feelings. I, for one, was very shocked by the new me because
Mhm.
I used to be super active and,
Yeah, you used to
I
go to the
used to
studio very regularly. Then suddenly,
really
pandemic,
incorporate
right?
fitness into my daily routine. And then in the beginning I was following workout videos, and then all of
Mhm.
a sudden I had no energy to get off the couch, and I just wanted to live in the couch and never get up. And I couldn't understand myself.
Uh-huh.
Did some of your clients go through the same thing? What is the feedback that you have?
Um, yeah, definitely. You know, some of the clients that go to One Life, I actually get to interact with them. Sometimes I do answer some of their inquiries or their concerns online, and a lot of them share with me that it's really been hard for them to just get into the mindset of
Right,
taking care of themselves because
right,
they already feel so much has been taken away by the pandemic. You know, usual
right,
things that restore them, meeting with friends, going to their happy place, which might be the gym or the studio, you know, wearing nice clothes, fixing themselves up, having a break from your family, because sometimes
right,
it can get
right.
intense at
Cabin
home,
fever.
right? Cabin
Yeah.
fever, having more time outdoors, etc. Those things have all been taken away from them, and it's sudden, right? And
Right.
so a lot of them can't just break that mental barrier that, you know, this is the new normal.
Right.
And within the new normal, you also have to find a new perspective on things. And we can't rush that. It's a different time frame for everybody. And that's why it's very important to approach it with baby steps, because not
Right.
everybody can jump from zero to
Right.
fitness star, right?
Right. That's why you're here. But before the baby steps, we need to make some fitness and diet
Uh-huh.
mindset changes. We
Correct.
need to do kind of like the inner work before we do the outer work.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with that. And you believe that we need to do like a sort of paradigm shift and change our perspective on things. So for the first tip, you said here, 5 fitness and diet
Yeah.
mindset changes to
Our
make.
código.
Yes. You recommend that we change our definition of fitness. What do you mean by that?
So, you know, like most people, I wasn't in the fitness industry r- right
All your
away all my life.
life.
So I also went through all the fads, all the workouts, all the diets, and I realized that, you know, if I just focus on physical health, it's not going to be sustainable, because one way or another, the other aspects of health, if you ignore them, will also affect your physical health. And what I realized is that when you want to make a real, lasting, sustainable change in your health and fitness, you have to think of health and fitness holistically. So there's
Right,
social health, there's mental health, there's spiritual health, there's physical health,
right,
and there's also emotional health. And if you tend to over focus on one part, what
right,
happens is that the other parts suffer, and when the other parts suffer, it snowballs. So
right,
I know it's cliche, but there is a balance. And what most people think when they think of balance is that it's the perfect middle ground. One of the things that fundamentally changed my mindset about balance is that we have to approach balance thinking that it's not a middle ground, but rather the ability to find yourself being able to adapt to the ebbs and flows of
right,
the different aspects of your life. So sometimes work is demanding. You can't necessarily, you know, sacrifice the quality of your work just to run a marathon, for example. So you have to find the balance. So today, you know, my work is demanding. You know, it's taking a lot of my health. So I would focus on that so that I can finish it and return back to
right,
my physical health. So
Right.
Balance is being able to find a way to really maneuver the demands of the different parts of your health.
Right. So in that case, it doesn't become just weight loss, right? Do not
Yes.
equate fitness just with weight loss or
Mm-hmm.
just say, ang hirap kasi magpapayat eh, so wag na lang because it's
Yeah.
more than that.
Yeah. And sometimes when you think physical health is, the physical manifestation of health is the only benchmark of health, sometimes you get misled too. This
Right.
is why so many, you know, there's so many health issues that young people are encountering sometimes because they take shortcuts just to look a certain aesthetic, diet
Right.
pills, too intense exercise that lead to cardiac arrest, and so on and so forth. You can't just focus on the outer physical health. The internal physical health matters in the long
Right.
run because at the end of the day, we all want to live long, happy lives, right? It's a
Right.
bonus to look good while we're at it.
Right. Or sometimes maybe if you fix the mental health
Approach
aspect,
too, correct.
maybe
Mm.
the physical health will follow.
Yes, correct.
Right. So
And fit for Myrza season looks different on fit on Tanya Maria Aguila. For
right.
example, how tall you're very tall, so fit will look different on you.
Right.
At the same
Right.
time, I'm 5'1", so fit will look very different on me. So
Right.
you can't compare physical health with the aesthetics of different people. So that's one thing that people also have to change, I feel.
Right. And I like the way you said you're in our society we view people as either may abs or
Or
wala.
wala.
And
Walang
bali
middle
wala na
ground.
in between.
Correct.
But in actuality, there are different forms and shapes and sizes.
Correct. Correct.
Easier said than done, but I too am a victim of that mindset. And so maybe that's
And
why I'm having a hard time.
and I think you shouldn't feel guilty about, having a hard time because it's years and years and years of social conditioning. And it's
Right.
only now that we're really having more and more conversations on body positivity. And
Right.
and even with the conversations, it will take years before it takes root. So
Right.
I
Right.
think we should all just be a little bit patient, but at the same time, plant those seeds in your mind because no one can plant those seeds for you, just yourself.
Right. Right. So number two will help us try to not think of exercise as torture anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I feel that it's very important for people to find an exercise system that you love or a kind of
System.
exercise that you love because sometimes people will say this works, and then you go to that class or you try that exercise and you hate it. The chances are you won't continue with it, or
Right.
you'll do it begrudgingly because it's not for you. At the same time, there are just systems or exercises or activities that you love. For example, if I say, Myrza, I love running marathons. Come with me. It will make you fit.
Right.
And you're not a runner, right?
Right.
You'll probably hate it and never run again. So it's
Right.
very, very important to try all the different things so that you know what resonates with you. And so that
Right.
when you do it, you're excited and you're not, dragging your feet. And the thing is, sometimes what you like changes over time. So maybe you like yoga today, but tomorrow you grow to love Pilates. And then eventually, as you get older, you like combining different things. So it
Right.
took me a while also to realize that there is beauty in progressing what you do because it also keeps you excited. And sometimes it's also important to admit to yourself when you need a little bit of an extra help because sometimes people just say, you know what? Do it on your own, do the videos,
Right.
right? But sometimes when you do the videos, you feel alone. You
Right.
need company to make you feel like you enjoy it. So that's something to try. Or sometimes you like the assistance of a coach telling you what to do because it makes you zoom into the frame of mind. So there's really no one size fits all kind of formula to finding the exercise you love. And I'm sorry to say, but just like most things in life, it's trial and error. You really have to
Right.
find, it's like dating. You can't go on just one date and fall in love, right?
Right.
You have to, you know, go on several dates to realize what you like, what you
Right.
don't like, what are your non-negotiables, what are your negotiables. So
Right. Nor do you have to marry the first man you date, right?
exactly, exactly. You don't have to. And yeah, maybe if you think of finding the right exercise for you, you can think of it as dating. It's exciting to think it's dating yourself.
Right. I think try is the operative word. I
Uh-huh.
remember a few years ago or maybe a decade ago, I had a friend that I was taking to a yoga class for the first time. And she said,
Mm-hmm.
I already know I'm not going to like it because that's not
Mm-hmm.
the kind of thing I like to do. And fast forward to today, she's a yoga teacher.
Yeah. So caveat is sometimes you don't know if you'll fall in love on the first date.
Right.
So you have to give it several dates, right?
Right.
Correct,
Like a Netflix series. Number three is
correct.
think long term and don't forget to live a little.
Yep. So most people think if I start today, tomorrow I'm thin, or tomorrow my blood test will come out perfect. So the reality is, all good things take time, and most especially with our bodies. Our bodies are all different, and our bodies all react differently to different things. So, for example, some people have naturally faster metabolism. Some people have naturally slower metabolism. Some people, they naturally just hold their weight in certain parts of their body. So to see results, you really have to put in the work. It's just like a career. You can't expect your career to explode after one good project or one um, long night of work. So it's the
Right.
same exact thing. You put in the work, you plant the seeds, you don't
Right.
harvest it the next day. You actually have to nurture it, wait for it to grow. And the moment you realize that results are never instant, so guys, don't be fooled by those instant results. Da, 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 da. It's really not sustainable.
Right.
Those fad diets, those fad trends, because if it's too good to be true when it comes to your health and fitness, it probably is. Because your
Right.
body didn't become the way it is overnight. It's the result of repeated things that you eat and you do
Right.
in the long term. So to undo those things, to change your lifestyle, it will also have to take several days, several months, maybe just as long as you put those habits in and those pounds in. So it takes a while. Just be patient. Also, don't forget to live a little, right? So if you get to focus on a goal, for example, and you don't quite meet it right away, sometimes you will get discouraged. And
Right.
so give yourself those moments. If you really feel like today you need that glass of wine and it will make you feel better, it would reset your day, it will put you in a good mood, then have that glass of wine. Or, for example, you're going to be with family and it's the holidays, and, sharing a meal together is important for that memory of that holiday. Share the meal. Don't
Right.
deprive yourself because, again, you won't pack the pounds in just one sitting. But if you do the feast every day, that adds that adds up, right?
I
If
think
you
that's
drink,
what happened to everyone.
yeah. So now this year is a year of undoing, and planting seeds again. It's okay. We're all there. Even me, I gained a little bit of weight, and then I just tell myself, you know what, day one instead of one day.
Right. Right. That's good. I love that. That's why probably studies show that most of the people who joined the biggest loser gain back all the weight and even
Right,
more because they
right.
failed to sustain what they were doing in closed quarters.
And Mirza, I'm sure you remember there were many, many, miracle diets that have launched
Right.
here in the Philippines. And we've also seen those big people that suddenly drastically lose the weight,
Right.
and sadly a lot of them have gained it
Yeah.
all back. And finding it harder to lose it all, because there's also a
Right.
study that says, drastic weight loss or drastic, anything physical you do drastically bites you back in the butt, um,
Right. And adds more but
and adds more butt. Yeah.
four is fix your form before going for intensity, because
Okay.
if we want fast results, right, we mistakenly probably think that it has to be intense.
Uh-huh. And there's also that mindset na pag hindi ako pinawisan,
Right.
hindi siya effective. I being a fitness professional and being in this business for almost 10 years now, one thing I really am passionate about sharing is that people have to know that you can't just go for intensity right away, because that's going to be a recipe for injury. That's going to be a recipe for discouragement. That might be a recipe for harm to you. In terms of mindset setting, if you make it too hard the first time, very few people will have the will to come back,
Right.
because, you know, that's human nature. If it's too challenging sometimes, you're discouraged. And that's why I like people going for challenge, but just enough so that they can get a taste of what it feels like, but not too much that they feel like they're killing themselves. So when it comes to exercise, what I always tell people is that you want to feel refreshed after your exercise and never spent, because if you feel spent all the time, and again, there's a different camp saying high intensity stuff is good, and there is science to that. But when it comes to people trying to take the baby steps, I think it's very important that you go for consistency before intensity, and that you fix your form before going for intensity,
Right.
because most injuries happen at the end of your range of motion, at the end of your flexibility. And when you get injured, back to zero ka talaga. Your goals are really, pushed back, or you're going to suffer from a major setback. So when it comes to sustainable health and fitness, slow and steady and small steps are the best ways forward.
Right. And then for number five, you
Say goodbye
say
to
say
dieting.
goodbye to dieting. Talaga, patay.
Yeah, I never diet, Myrza. I did before when I was younger, but I realized I've tried it. I tried not eating, which is the most popular kind of diet. I've also tried the lemon cleanse. I've also tried uh, master cleanse. There's also that cleanse where you eat just bananas, everything, all those fad
Right.
diets that get
The
passed
3-day
on in a
diet.
3-day diet. I've tried those all. And yes, you drop the pounds so fast when you do it, but then the pounds also pack on so fast the moment you're off it,
Right.
simply because it's not sustainable, right? And the thing is, our metabolism really changes as we age. And did you know that it takes, I think 6 years, I might be wrong, but several years to rewrite your DNA? And
Wow.
so for me, if you're always depriving yourself, then you're also writing into your code, intense cravings, um, feelings of joy when you finally get food,
Maybe that's what happened to me.
right? You feel like it's such a reward when
Right.
you have it. Your emotions get tied so much to it. And I think one of the things that people might need to do is change their relationship with food if you want it to be sustainable.
Definitely.
So diets, when it comes to physical fitness, usually mean calorie deprivation. And meaning, bawasan mo yung kanin mo, or bawasan mo yung kakainin mo, or don't eat that, don't eat this. But the thing is, actually, if you just choose the calories that you're going to eat, you're going to have a full plate. Um, Choose better calories. I know it's easier said than done, especially for those people that don't like vegetables. But a very, very simple tip that I like telling people is just to make sure you color your plate. Later, we'll go to it some more, right? In
Right.
baby
Right.
steps. But choose better calories, drink lots of water. Sometimes because of the decisions we have made with our diet in our youth, our internal system thinks that we're hungry when we're
Right.
actually just thirsty. So especially now, what I realized is that when we were younger, we didn't drink that much coffee. There was no
Coffee.
Starbucks everywhere. Yeah.
All right. Right.
But nowadays, I see kids, below 20 drinking coffee like 3 times,
True.
5 times a day. And that makes them so thirsty, I feel.
And
Because
not just coffee, but like
yeah, in
2,000 calorie coffee
in
drinks.
in general, yeah, right, those very dense drinks. So drink your water because it will fix your internal system, meaning you
Right.
will crave less because your thirst mechanism works better. Also, if you can forgo the colored drinks, have it once in a while, but don't have it every day. There are some
Right.
people that have it every day. And if
Right.
you're
Or some
just
people actually hate water.
yeah, but you have to really change your relationship with water because it's like fuel. It makes your systems run faster. And
Right.
one last thing I want to say is that when you're gonna indulge in a good way. So, for example, if you're gonna drink wine anyway, choose good wine, right? If you're
Right.
gonna if you're gonna eat meat, a lot of meat, choose good meat because
Right.
sometimes the way our food has been prepared or processed also matters.
Right.
There are some people that say if you're gonna eat junk food because we will have those days, then read the label. Choose
Right.
the better junk food. There's always a better choice in when it comes to food. So
Right.
those little changes add up.
I guess be more mindful with your
Correct.
eating and drinking. What about sleep and stress, which I am beginning to find out are super crucial? Like I always ignored my sleep needs when I was still in the corporate world. I
Uh-huh.
would scrimp on sleep in order to get
Right.
up at 5:30, in order to
Right.
wait to work out at 6 o'clock and then sleep
Right.
only 5 hours. Yun pala,
Right.
counterproductive.
Yeah. So um, this is not just me, but there are more and more studies that say the longer you're able to sleep, the longer your life. And
Right.
and more science say that rest is important for your body to just really function at its best. And um, again, different rules for different folks. I think everybody has different sleeping times, but there
Right.
is science to sleeping at a certain time. I think it's 10 a.m., 10 p.m. to around 7 a.m. is the best, most optimal time for our bodies to uh,
Follow the
regenerate and
circadian
repair
rhythm, I
itself.
think. Right.
Yeah, the circadian rhythm. So, but not everybody has the luxury to follow that sleeping pattern depending on their work. So I think the goal is really to catch up on your sleep. If you
Right.
can't if you can't do the straight sleeping time for one reason or another, take naps because naps are not bad. Sometimes it's shunned upon by our culture because you're not being productive, but right? But sometimes your body is smarter than you
Right.
think. When it's sleepy, it has to sleep. But at the same time, check in with your lifestyle. Are there changes that you guys have to do? Maybe Netflix is off at a certain time.
Right. Right.
One of the major things that technology has changed for us is the introduction of blue light. So having blue light makes you awake. So your brain is just fired up when it sees blue light. So have those simple rules of putting your gadgets away at a certain time so that you can slowly condition your mind that it's sleeping time. Don't work on your bed. Keep work outside.
Right.
If you have a TV indoors and in your bedroom and you're having hard time sleeping, take the TV out. Make it inconvenient for you to stay awake in your bed.
Right. I'm guilty of all of those. I think the blue light is the culprit for my insomnia. And it's a chain reaction, right? My
Correct,
insomnia
correct.
caused me to wake up late, and so I
Mhm.
I had to forgo my morning routine, and then it's a vicious cycle. And what
Yeah, it's
about
the
stress
holistic health,
eating?
remember? They're all related.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I think stress eating is also a big
Yeah.
problem of mine. And Any tips or insights about how to manage
Stress
stress
eating.
eating?
So stress eating. So this is something that I have a hard time relating to because I'm not a
Wow!
big stress eater. I'm not a big stress eater. I'm not a very emotional eater because I was able to I guess fix my relationship with food
Wow!
very
Don't
early
tell.
on. For me, food is very functional. I only eat when I'm hungry, and I try to paint my plate. But for some people, I know food is an occasion, right? And sometimes they always relate it to a happy moment or moment
Yes.
with family and
Netflix
friends.
is an occasion and it's nightly.
So I think when you really have to stress eat, uh, have some healthier snacks prepared. What I do for my husband is that as much as possible, we try to have fruits that's ready to eat for him in the ref. There's suha
Right.
always that's peeled already because if it's inconvenient, you're gonna reach for the chips. You just open it
Right.
and eat it, right? Um, Ensemada is pretty easy to eat, right? So you make it convenient for you to reach for healthier
So true.
alternatives. Have hot water always so that you can drink tea instead. Have water beside you all the time so that
Right.
you drink first and see if you're just thirsty or hungry.
Right. So you are able to manage your husband's stress eating.
Yeah, I try. He also tries.
Right. So now that we're done with the mommy steps,
Hmm.
we are shifting to the baby
Baby
steps
steps.
with the goal of making exercise not just enjoyable, but a habit. So the definition of a habit is a regular tendency or practice that is hard to give up.
Right.
So we want to make exercise a regular practice that is hard to give up. And studies also show that it takes 3 weeks for repeated action to become a habit. And
Hmm.
also, we need to replace old bad habits with new habits.
Hmm.
So here are Tanya's recommendations. These
So
are
the
like some of them are tips and some of them are actually tricks
mhm.
to trick your mind into not resisting exercise. So here's number one: schedule exercise and honor each appointment.
Mhm. So I think a lot of us all have work, right? And when it comes to work, we are professionals. And I'd like to think that people watching this show are all professionals and they show up when they say they're going to show up. So, one of the things I have conditioned myself fairly early on is that I really schedule my workouts first thing in the morning or latest until lunchtime because. Uh, I have to show up to my ultimate boss, which is myself, and you don't cancel on your boss. So if you
Right,
have to write it down on your planner, write it down. If you have to put an alarm on your phone, put an alarm on your phone. If you have to tell your team, don't bother me during this time as much as possible, block it off because you're going to be giving the best of yourself if you're able
right.
to honor commitments that you make to you. And again, you're your biggest boss, right? You won't go to your boss and say, "Sir, cancel na tayong meeting today, ha?" I mean, I won't go to Miss Myrz and say, "Miss Myrz, cancel tayo, ha?
Right.
Bukas na lang ako mag-represent sa'yo." I mean, if you truly respect the commitments you make to yourself, then you're gonna stick to it, I hope.
Right. Why
And
is it easier to do it first thing in the morning?
okay, so this is one thing that I really, 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 really advocate for. When you do it in the morning, there's only one excuse. You just have to wake up.
Right.
You're not at work, and there was a meeting that extended. Lunch didn't, extend, or you don't have to cook for the kids yet. Or for example, there's a birthday party nagkayayaan that I have to go to at
Tama.
dinner. I have to reschedule. But in the morning, your only excuse really is I have to wake up.
Right.
And there's so many ways to shortcut getting ready in the morning. Sleep in your exercise clothes. Have your workout station already ready for the morning. If there's a gym downstairs, you don't even need to shower yet, right?
Right.
But if you exercise, the later that you go in the day, the excuses really pile up. And in my experience, and as I observe the people at the studio, the ones who develop an exercise routine that is 12 noon and below, they're the ones who are able to really sustain it and stick to it in the long run.
Right. What if you really can't?
Wake up in the
Or
morning.
you're unable to make it? Like my excuse, as we were discussing earlier, was when I developed insomnia, my morning routine was kind of shattered. And so I didn't feel like walking outside since mainit
Right,
na, or whatever
right,
excuse I could come up with. And you have a
right.
solution for that.
So there are days that I just don't want to show up for myself. And let's be honest, some mornings in 2020 were real hard to to show up to. Imagine you're already having a hard time, and then you can't sleep, and then the first thing you need to do when you wake up is something that's a little bit challenging also. So one of the things I learned in 2020 that maybe people can take with them to jumpstart their journey this 2021 is that, you know, find joy in micro workouts or commit to micro workouts. Micro workouts are 5 to 10 to 15-minute little breaks of exercise that you can do throughout the day, wherever you are, whatever you're wearing. There are just some functional exercises that you squeeze in tiny moments. For example, you're in the office and you skipped your morning exercise because you were in a rush or you just didn't feel like it. During lunchtime, before you eat that meal, head on to somewhere a little bit private and do some squats.
Right.
Or you can do some dips at your exercise station. Or maybe just even stretching, just to, move the body in directions and use muscles that you haven't really used. Just wake the body up. Try to start
Right.
conditioning yourself to look for movement, because if you don't, then your body's not going to look for it. So you also have to train your mind to start to look for movement wherever and whenever it can. So
Right.
if you can't do exercises because simply you're clueless, then take standing or walking breaks every 15 minutes. You
Right.
can't just let yourself sit down. So you can walk
Right.
around the house.
Or take the stairs if you
Take the
live in a condo.
stairs instead of the elevator.
Right.
You can also just stand up, get a standing desk.
Right.
Yeah.
I was
There's so
shocked to
many ways
see
to skin this cat.
in our phone, right? There's an app, the health app to show the steps, the daily steps. I was shocked to see 2020 month by month and how, like, even if you don't
2,000
walk
steps.
a lot, like just walking to your car, to the parking lot, to your
Yes.
office, to your cubicle, it all
Mm-hmm.
adds up pala. And it's really
Yes.
shocking to see how during the lockdown, parang zero steps na lang.
And sometimes, Mirza, those hand gestures matter sometimes, and we don't
Oh,
have that
okay.
that face-to-face interaction sometimes,
Right,
right?
right,
Or the long conversations while you wait for your Uber or your Grab. That doesn't happen anymore. Or the cubicle chismisan, where you have to
right.
walk from one cubicle to another. Those have all been taken away. So your daily movement have been taken away, and we're relegated to on the sofa or something,
Right,
burritoing on the bed. And we have to take control back by integrating
right,
movement slowly again. Starts with standing, starts with walking every so often. So fight the urge to just lie down and sit down. Set an
right.
alarm every 15 minutes.
I think all those you mentioned plus wearing pants, because when we
Mhm.
stopped wearing pants,
Yes,
we didn't
that's
know na
also
hindi na pala kasya
true.
yung pants.
That's also true.
So number 2, you say show up for exercise as you would for an important event, just to give it importance.
So I'm really 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 excited to exercise when I'm in cute workout gear.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but maybe it's the girl in me. When I wear something that is nice and it makes me feel like I'm off to a workout, it really sets my mind frame that I'm about to exercise. And syempre, if you're wearing something cute, you're also committed to doing something great on the mat, right?
Right, right.
And and sometimes the gear helps. The gear nowadays have so much technology in it that it makes you feel good while moving.
Right.
There's some gear that are so soft that makes you feel like a ballerina and so flexible when you do yoga. There's some gear that when you run, it's so supportive on your breast that you're not even thinking, oh, my
Right.
boobs are bothering me while jogging. You can just
Right.
focus on the run. There are shoes that make you run better form wise, and so you feel less pain. And just like an important meeting, for example, you're meeting with an important person or the CEO, or you're presenting or pitching a project. When you have those things, right, you dress up, you show up in your best gear. You put on makeup, you wear something nice, you go shopping for some new clothes just to make you feel like you brought it. So the same with exercise. Don't just be a schlub because
Right. So hindi na pwedeng pambahay.
well, most especially for people that are already having a hard time getting into the mindset, I
Right.
think the clothes and the gear help because,
Right.
it puts you in that frame of mind. If you
Right.
feel like you're gonna um, slay it in your big t-shirt and your big pants, right? No bra, you're gonna have a hard time. So you really have to gear up, and maybe it's about time that you invest in new gear just to get you excited.
Right. And you also said that you make your treadmill time your personal TED Talk time.
Yes. So for me, running has been a savior for me because it's where my best ideas have been born. It's also when I try to run off anger or frustration or anxiety. And during those times, I have those very, very important conversations with myself. We underestimate time that we give to ourselves to introspect, and running has that
Right.
effect for me. It's meditative because you get to zone out thoughts that don't matter just because it's hard. You have to focus on running. And when you find the zone, that's when I start saying to myself things that are motivational, things like, you know, things you can't, life is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So it's things related to running that relate to life. And for most people, maybe you can also do that with your activities. Make it a time to introspect and talk to yourself and really,
Right.
tackle those feelings that you've been struggling with. Talk to yourself.
Right.
You also have to have a conversation with your mind sometimes because, but make sure it's a positive conversation, like a constructive. Because some people they might
Not
get more into
scolding.
their thoughts, right?
Right.
So for me, I try to make it a conversation and a TED talk. I think
Right.
most of us have seen TED talks already. They're mostly motivational, and there's no one that's going to be able to motivate you more than yourself. You have to be your own cheerleader. So sometimes I have that feeling that I zone out. Pinapanood ko lang yung sarili ko while I run, and that person keeps cheering me on. And you have to be able to imagine that because no
Right.
one's going to be your cheerleader but you, especially while we're still at home.
Right. So number three, to make it fun, you suggest gamifying your routine by
Yes.
getting using a fitness tracker or a Fitbit maybe or an Apple Watch. How
I
else can you gamify?
So I personally have an Apple Watch. It has the rings. I don't know if you guys know that, but if you don't have an Apple Watch yet and you have the budget for it, I highly recommend it because the activity app on it is so fun. It makes it very goal oriented, and it's like a game because you can share with your husband or other people with the same app your progress, and then you get to do the kanchawa na, oh, sarado pa na yung circle ko,
Right,
first
right,
stand, or oh my gosh, I just need 10 minutes more, and then you yourself want to achieve it, right? For me, that's a way I gamify it, but maybe for some other people it's not the game that they're thinking of. Maybe for them it's a socialization aspect. For
right, right,
example, maybe you like dancing, maybe you can make it a Zoom dance game with your friends, or maybe, for example, you want to do a virtual run with friends where you complete
Right.
10 kilometers and then they do the other 10 kilometers, or you just do 500 meters. There is a
Right.
way to make it fun, whether you're on your own or whether you want to do it with friends. And there are no rules here. So you make up your own rules, but the rule is to make it fun so that you don't feel like it's work.
Right. One gadget you discourage people from using as a benchmark is the scale,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you
Yes.
suggest using an outfit benchmark instead.
Yes. So most people that are trying to, improve their physical health, maybe lose weight, they focus on the scale, right? First thing in the morning, what they do is step on a scale and get angry. There's no results at all with everything that I've been doing. Ayoko na. I've heard that so many times. It's
Ako
happened to
yan, ako yan.
me. But the thing people have to realize is that yes, you have to measure your weight, but it's not the only metric for health and physical health and weight loss. There's a thing called body mass index, wherein it's the percentage of your muscles to your fat, etc. I'm not going to go into the details of it, but um, the thing is, in layman's terms, the body's weight changes and fluctuates so much
Right.
that
Yeah,
it's
I
not
gained five
right.
pounds after
Five
lunch.
After lunch, you have 5 pounds or 10 pounds, or if you're constipated, sometimes it's 15 pounds.
Right.
When you're pregnant, it's 1,000 pounds or something. So the weight is not the only benchmark for physical health. So there are many many benchmarks, and I like to say that if you're just new to monitoring your progress when it comes to those numbers, you consult with a professional because they can interpret the data better for you instead of you just being angry. But for us
Right.
lay people, ordinary people, just starting on a journey, one thing that you guys can use as a benchmark is a set of clothes that you want to wear and
Right.
then see how they fit, right? Are they fitting better every day? Are they getting tighter? Because for me, that's a real measure of where you want to go. And it's a real visual representation of how much progress you have made. Because sometimes you are a bit bloated, ganun talaga, that's a lot of water weight that you will see on the scale. But maybe when you shed some of that water after an exercise, you look great in your clothes. So,
Right.
and don't measure every day.
Right.
Don't wear that. Don't wear that benchmark clothing every day. You know, wear it on a
Yeah.
schedule, like the end of a month, every 2 months, or every quarter. Because if you measure too much, you're also gonna be setting yourself up for disappointment. Because
That's
again,
so
results
true.
are not instant, right?
Right. That's so true. Because for me, if I'm unhappy with the numbers in the morning, bad mood na ako. So,
Yeah. So sometimes, in this sense, ignorance is bliss as long
right.
as you're doing something towards improving the state of your health.
Right. So for number 4, you suggest shelling out some money because you'll be more motivated to show up, such as investing in a coach or a fitness app or a
Yes.
class.
Yes. Okay. Fashion is something that's very close to your heart, right? And sometimes when you invest in a fashion statement piece, you want to wear it. You want to get the most wears out of it, right? And it's the same thing when you choose to invest in a fitness program or a coach. When you finally put out the money so that you
Right.
can get started on something, it's an added motivator for you to stick to it. Because
Right.
sometimes, nag-invest ka na eh, di ba? Will you just let your money go to waste? And some people need that motivation, most especially for those people that, have been having a hard time pushing themselves, because not everybody has that internal push to just go for it, or at least not immediately. It takes a while, right? And for those starting moments, I really suggest to invest in your class or your coach or an app. Pay for something so that it's painful when you don't use it.
Right.
Painful to your wallet. When
Right.
your wallet starts becoming painful, you're gonna be reevaluating that you should really show up.
Right. So number 5 is the One Life motto. Instead of saying one day, say
Day
day
one.
one. You want to explain this to us?
So, one of the things that I really realized during this pandemic is that, I kept saying throughout 2020, oh, one day I'll run outside.
Right.
Because when this pandemic is over, I'll run outside. Or I'm just going to give myself this day because next year things will be better. And one day I'm going to go outside and be fit again. But
Right.
the days are going, guys, and every day is an opportunity for us to make it count. So instead of thinking, one day I'll do this, one day I'll be fit, one day I'm going to be wearing that dress, or one day my blood work is going to be fine, one day I'm going to be free from injury, take that baby step to say that today is going to be day one. So if tomorrow
Right.
feels like day one again, at least it's not one day.
Right. Right. So kahit makailang day one ka,
Yeah.
rewind lang ng rewind.
Yes. Because, there are people that are blessed to be so disciplined. And those are the things, the people that we see in all the stories, because they're inspirational. Let's give them that. But for 90% of the population, it is a struggle.
Right.
And when you see one day images all over media, on social media, diba? It's all the end point, right? No one really tells you about how they're starting, because it's hard to talk about that. It's hard to start. So you
Right.
have to be a self-starter. And if it means you have to be starting over again and again and again every day until such a time that it doesn't feel like day one anymore, then that's okay, because we're all doing day one anyway. You're not alone.
Right.
And one day one will feel like an exciting thing, because when you approach life with the day one attitude, every day is a fresh day, right?
Right. Right. You also stress the cliche progress over perfection. How does this apply in our case?
So progress over perfection is a bit of a cliche because so many people use it right now, right? But I really feel it is a great statement when it comes to your health and fitness, because you're not going to wake up one day and um, say to yourself, I'm completely perfect and I'm completely satisfied with the state of my health. So it is a long term journey from the day you're born to the day you die. You are going to be working on your health and fitness, and your body's going to go through changes from day one to the end of your days. And so if you say you're already perfect, then what's the point of living the rest of your life, right? So
Right.
every day is an opportunity to make progress in whatever way, be it in your social health, be it in your mental health, be it in your emotional health, spiritual health, physical health. Again, health is holistic, right? And I don't think at any point in our lives, any part of all those parts will be perfect. And if
Right.
and the moment you accept that fact is the moment you also become happier with progress that you make. Um, uh, One thing that you have to realize is that when you say this statement, also you have to be very careful, because sometimes people mistake complacency for self-love, and those are
Right.
those are two different things, with a very very thin line between them. When you say progress over perfection, you have to realize that you have to be honest, at least striving for progress, because sometimes when you feel like, oh, hindi naman ako perfect, di ba may mga ganong statements,
Right.
ayoko na, hindi naman ako perfect, hindi naman ako, never naman ako magiging
Or
perfect.
oo. Or you'll say,
Um,
hindi naman ako artista or hindi naman
no,
ako
hindi naman ako
influencer.
artista, hindi naman ako vlogger, or wala
Oo.
naman akong balak sa likes, wala naman akong pake sa
Oo.
hearts, right? But the thing is, you have to do it for you. Real self-love means having those honest conversations with yourself, that you need to improve on some parts, because you want to live a long, happy, healthy life that's full of purpose. When you are
Right.
not happy with yourself and when your cup is almost empty, meaning, you're physically just unable to give back or give more of yourself to the community that you're in, that is complacency, right? So you have to have
Right.
those honest conversations where you tell yourself that tama na, you have to start taking care of yourself, right? You have to strive for progress. And we're never going to be perfect anyway. So might
Right.
as well love the journey, love the progress, no matter how small. Day one every day, and hopefully all those mindset shifts will help you be happier and healthier this year.
Wow. What a great piece of advice to imbibe for 2021. We were discussing earlier all the excuses that you've heard about
Uh-huh.
not exercising, such as I'm
Naku,
so
matanda
tired
na
all
ako.
the time. Wala na akong energy. So what does Tanya have to say about that excuse, number
Okay,
one?
if this is your excuse, what I have to say to you is that you'll really be tired because you're not training yourself to have more energy. I know it doesn't sound like, it sounds counterproductive, but the
Right, right,
more the more activity that you start to do, the more your body is trained to do more.
right.
So look at all those fitness people. They're so energetic, right? Tumakbo na sila ng 100 kilometers, tapos aakyat pa sila ng bundok. Uh, the thing is, the more physically fit you are, the more energy you will also have.
Right. How about I tried it na before, it didn't naman work.
Then, um, just like dating, dinate ko na siya dati. Ba't ko siya date ngayon? And then, you went on a date with this person now, with the person that you are now, and then you guys suddenly clicked and you got married.
Right.
You have to give it
Or
a second chance.
matanda na ako, hindi na.
Okay. So the more you have to do it because you don't want to, I'm sorry, it's morbid, but you want to live a long and healthy life, right? And because matanda ka na, wala ka nang paki sa health, YOLO na lang. I have to say that the older you get, the more you have to take care of
The
yourself
more you
because,
need it.
yeah, the more you need it because you want to get more out of life.
Right.
You don't want to be stuck in a chair. You don't want to be stuck at home. Now we all have a preview
Now
of
we
what it
are
feels
all
like,
stuck in
right?
chairs.
Now we have a preview. We're so lucky to have this preview because it makes you appreciate the essentials in life, right? You want to be more out there. You want to have more energy. Want to have more to give. And, this is a great time to introspect what really matters. And maybe that's health.
Right. Right. And studies also show that working out boosts your immunity, which
Mm-hmm.
makes us more resistant to COVID. And also for
Yes.
aging,
Mm-hmm.
if you lift weights or do
Yes.
resistance training, your
Yes.
bones and muscles get stronger also.
So women start to lose their ability to form muscle the moment they turn 30. And when you have less muscles, that's when you just pack on the pounds because muscles consume energy, right, in the form of sugar, fat, whatever. So the less muscles you have, the more prone you are to weight gain. So it's very, very important to keep doing exercises that build on your strength and exercises that build on your flexibility so you can do the exercises that build on your strength and to work on your cardio because cardiovascular health is different too. So it has to be really a holistic approach because you're
Right.
surprised.
How about the excuse of, payat naman ako, I don't naman gain weight. So why do I need to exercise?
Payat doesn't make you exempt from lifestyle diseases like diabetes or cardiovascular diseases, or I'm sorry to say, cancer. And most doctors will really tell you that part of a healthy lifestyle is moving and eating healthy. And again, it goes back to everything we want in life is enabled by good health. So
Right.
you have to keep telling yourself that choices you make for your health reflect in the other aspects of your life, either today or tomorrow. So you want to be good to your body because it's going to take you through life.
Right. So in closing, do you want to tell us about what's up with One Life? You're open again.
Yep.
Last year you were doing virtual sessions, right? Throughout the
So
lockdown.
One Life is now ready to welcome everybody back in its studios. We're not open in all locations, but we're open already in San Juan, and we're also opening again in Makati. And we're only strictly doing individual workouts ever since we were a private studio already, not offering group classes, maybe for years now, and we focused on one-on-ones. And now we have very, very strict protocols, clinic level safety protocols to make sure that you're safe and you can focus on yourself. So if you guys prefer in-person workouts with the assistance of a coach, you can visit the studios. But if you guys prefer the comfort of your home but need that extra guidance, also that extra push, our coaches are also ready to serve you via One Life at home.
Right. I'm flashing the contact information, but maybe
Thank
you want to
you.
invite them to check it out for more information.
So you can check out announcements on One Life Studio on Instagram and /the One Life Studio on Facebook. And then our website is www.theonelifestudio.com. And hopefully we see you guys at the studios. If you like a community that, is that can help you with the day one mindset, and you can really just focus on yourself because you're not going to be shy. It's very private, very exclusive. Do try and check us out. The fitness community, the health and fitness boutique studios have really taken a hit last year, but we're ready to welcome all of you back this year because we carry on.
Right. Thank you, and carry on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for giving
Thank you
us
so much.
not just a nudge, but a push so that we can all get moving again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Myrza. See you at the studio soon. Bye.
Yes, I promise.
Work out
Bye.
na, exercise, eat healthier.
Right. All right. Bye. Thank you, everyone. This has been Ask Miss Myrz, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.